Government of Canada strategies. I believe the application was a success. Not a cottage, it's a chalet.
No one believes you in this room. We have national reporters in this room, and I doubt very much that they believe you.
It was a genuine mistake because there are multiple versions of the resume. They may have given me one, but as a recruiter, you make different versions of resumes, and the wrong one was sent through.
Sir, who made multiple versions? You or somebody else?
I did. I started my career as a recruiter. So I'm
on earth, sir, why on earth would compel you to modify one version of the resume received by both individuals? Why did you have to modify it and create different versions without their consent or permission? Why?
Because accompanying every resume going to the federal government is a matrix, an evaluation matrix. That is a score that you get to be compliant, to be a certain category on the contract.
Lied to ensure that they qualified. You embellished.
I'm afraid
you manipulated the facts.
What does the GC and GC strategy stand for?
Sorry?
What does the GC?
Just Government of Canada. Just Government of Canada.
Okay, Government of Canada strategies is the full.
You said GC strategy stands for Government of Canada strategies. Don't you think that's misleading?
Not really. We didn't think so in 2015. I think our work was done very well, and I feel like the application was a success. I believe it was 260. I believe the application was a success. We had 260 million times the app was open.
A success. You're saying that your application was a success. You're serious now, right?
I think it did exactly what it was supposed to.
Mr. Firth, I'm sure that the millions of Canadians who either are watching this or will learn about this in the press or seek out the transcript of this particular meeting will be very, very grateful that the RCMP has access to this particular evidence. What I can understand is why you would take active steps in misleading this particular committee and Canadians with respect to your role as it relates to fraud and forgery with respect to modifying without permission and consent these transcripts, but the resumes to the government. What I can't understand is why you would deliberately lie to this committee on a very innocent question that was put to you by my colleague, Mr. Barrett, when he asked you if you knew whether or not Mr. Cameron McDonald from the CBSA had a cottage. And you said no.
Do you know if Cameron McDonald has a cottage?
I don't know if Cameron McDonald has a cottage.
Do you know if he had one?
I do not know if he had a cottage.
Do you want to reflect on that answer?
Yeah, Mr. McDonald has never referred to it as a cottage. It's a chalet. It's not a cottage.
For that clarification, Mr. Firth. Are you kidding me?
That is the honest.
Are you saying you knew all along that he had something that was equivalent to a cottage or a cabin, but because a different word was used to refer to it, that you had the license to say, I don't know?
You were asking.
Is that what you want us to believe?
You were asking a specific question about a cottage. I answered honestly. He has never mentioned that he had a cottage.
This guy hasn't said anything honest since he's been here.
But he's got a cabin, doesn't he?
A chalet.
A chalet. Well, why didn't you offer that?
Because that was not the question that was asked.
I see. I see. So you have a very limited ability in terms of telling this committee the truth. Is that correct, Mr. Firth?
No, I'm answering
because the RCMP
correctly.
is going to have a field day when they come to interview you.
That's right.
I answered the question honestly with the question that was posed in front of me.
I see. Well, let's ask you some more questions then. Have you ever had or claimed to have influence on any government officials?
No, I have not.
Do you remember, sir, some of the allegations that you have probably read about by Bottler, that they've actually taped conversations with you? Hours and hours of conversations with you? Do you want to reflect on that question again?
No, I've seen everything that you've said. Everything that was in the newspaper is what I've read.
Well, sir, I'll remind you what you said on audio tape that has been recorded. You told Bottler during the very first call on November the 8th, 2019, these are your words, quote, "So we have essentially the ear of the president right now of CBSA."
We have essentially the ear of the president right now of CBSA, which is, I guess, would be the equivalent of the minister or like the deputy minister. And my client who's leading, he's a very high executive responsible for Innovation Cloud. From a next step of getting the proposal over to the president, because this will land on his desk 100%. Like this is going, above the ADM level.
If that's not influence or claiming to have influence on any government official, sir, I don't know what is. So I'm going to ask you again, do you want to be truthful or not to this committee? Or do you want to continue to lie that you did not exaggerate or claim that you had this great influence over officials at the CBSA? Yes or no?
I was working with one person who identified...
Answer the question. Let's start with that. Answer the question. Yes or no? Do you agree that this is your words that you uttered to Bottler on November 8th, 2019, bragging about your influence on government officials? Do you accept that or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you.
Have you ever met with government officials outside of government offices, outside of government business hours?
No, I have not.
You have not. So I'm going to ask you some of these questions again. Have you ever met with government officials or anyone employed by government in a private residence? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. What is the nature of that meeting?
I'm assuming, I don't know the exact meaning you're referencing. It's not like I've had hundreds of these things. The truth is, I don't know which one you're talking about.
I want to know about all. I want to know about all of them.
I don't know which one you're. Sorry, I cannot comment. If you could direct your exact question to me in writing, I'm more than happy to respond.
Sir, you're here providing oral answers to oral questions for a standing committee of the House of Commons.
Answer.
Well, your answer changes. That in the ArriveScam, there are all kinds of players who play all kinds of different roles, and you've demonstrated yourself to be a liar. You've lied before a parliamentary committee on multiple occasions. You even undertook to provide to me this information 16 months ago. You and I had this exchange. Would you be able to attribute those quotes in your submission, your written submission to the committee?
I'm confused. What was the purpose of this? Sorry, like why would that be necessary?
Oh well, it's important for us to understand why how this relationship came to fruition. Yep. So
would it again? Absolutely. I mean, but the fact that we were working there for a year, that would be not sufficient. That we were working on similar sort of engagements.
No, the names of them would be great. And now you're here, and the only reason you came was because you were threatened to be arrested, and you've come virtually, and now your undertaking is to provide the information you promised, cross your heart, that you're going to do it this time, but you couldn't do it before. It strains reason and certainly demonstrates that you don't have any credibility when it comes to the questions that we ask, and which leaves me to wonder what I should even bother asking you, because I can't believe anything that you're going to say. Will you provide us with those names right now? You obviously know who the VP of a major crown corporation was who appears on your website. The Chief Information Officer for the Government of Canada. What was the name? You know.
I said previously, I will give you these information.
No, sir. No, sir. I do not accept that. You will provide this committee with a name. You told us 16 months. You've had 16 months. You've had 16 months to do it. And this is your opportunity now to demonstrate that you are true to your word. So are you going to make that demonstration, or are you going to prove what we know to be true, and that's that you're not honest?
Like I said, I appreciate the question. I will give you the answers.
Yet your appreciation for the question isn't the reason that I asked it.
Okay.
I'm looking for
Again,
I'm looking for the information.
Okay. I said I would give you the information.
Yeah, you also said that 16 months ago. Sir, it is not just contempt of Parliament, but it's contemptuous to Canadians. They are lined up at food banks in record numbers, and you are raking in millions of dollars off the backs of Canadians. And then when you're called to provide even just the smallest bit of accountability, you laugh in Canadians' face. And it's disgusting, to be clear. And well, we'll see if you do in fact provide those names finally this time. But after 16 months, I certainly don't believe you, and neither can Canadians. Your partner, Mr. Firth, refused to say who provided testimonials on your website 16 months ago, and has failed to provide them this morning. Is your testimony this morning that you are also unaware who provided the testimonials on your website?
Yes, I am unaware of who provided the testimonies.
So you don't know who the chief information officer was of Canada who provide there's only 6 quotes on your website, and you're saying that you don't know who the chief data officer for the public sector was who provided that?
Yes, that's correct.
We heard yesterday from Kristian Firth that not only yesterday, but in previous testimony, that he's quite proud of the ArriveScam scam. Are you equally proud?
Yes, I'm proud of the work that we were able to deliver.
Are you proud of the end result?
Which end result are you referring to?
The end result that resulted in extremely long delays at the borders, chaos and confusion at airports, the faulty, glitchy part of the app that resulted in the illegal detention of 10,000 Canadians. Are you proud of those facts, Mr. Anthony? Yes or no?
I have no knowledge of that.
Come on, Mr. Anthony. You read papers. You watch the news. Were you living under a rock for the last 3 years?